The skyline is unmistakable and the venue unforgettable. Toronto is home to the giant Skydome, long revered as the world's greatest entertainment center. And Skydome is home to the largest indoor paintball event in the world, Zap Skyball. Join us now at the 2002 Zap Skyball Paintball Tournament, where there's much more happening than paintball. This event marks the debut of the new elite chronic paintball from Zap Paintball, and the players are anxious to try out its superior performance characteristics. The prize package here is like nothing seen before in paintball, thanks to the addition of a new major sponsor, WDP, makers of the most highly coveted paintball marker in the industry, the Angel. Total prizes are well over $150,000 and include tons of paintball markers, entertainment systems, cash, awards, and lots of hot new equipment from the industry's leading manufacturers. There are special awards for sportsmanship and extra prizes given randomly to teams all throughout the event, just for being here. Every participant and spectator will carry home special memories, some of which may be preserved in this video. So join us, and let's see who takes home the honors. This official Skyball 2002 video documents an unforgettable three-day event, jam-packed with vendor displays, demonstrations, parties, as well as top paintball competition, and a unique, contagious adrenaline for all the paintball junkies, as well as many spectators who have never before witnessed the game. "257 teams are competing in this year's event and are divided into rookie, novice, amateur, and professional divisions, depending on the experience levels of the players. Skyball 5 has been expanded to 3 days with a special rec ball event on Thursday evening. Just as soon as they are permitted, the teams take to the fields. Field walking permits close personal examination and strategy planning.
I would wait until they're a few legs down.
Paintball is a game with many faces. In its sport form, paintball has become more sophisticated and challenging, as technology has kept pace with both individual and team performance capabilities. In today's tournament circuits, paintball team success demands a degree of athleticism and talent comparable with most other popular sports. These teams take their sport seriously, with tryouts and practice regimens designed to hone the winners and cull the losers. Millions of paintballs are shot during Skyball, and not all of them break on the inflatable bunkers. Efficient disposal is the duty of well-trained cleanup crews. Skyball is an event for everyone, and everyone has fun. After countless games on a tightly organized schedule, 257 teams are progressively narrowed down until only 2 teams remain in each of the 4 divisions: rookie, novice, amateur, and pro. Here, as at many international events, the final games start with the national anthems of the participating countries. It has come down to the best 2 out of 3 games in head-to-head competitions. Let's watch the final games in their entirety.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to introduce to you the finalists in the rookie division for Skyball 2002. First of all, the Far Side Kids. And we have number 1, Chad Fretberg. Chad Fretberg, where are you? Number 2, Ben Chewing. Number 3, Paul Mazanke. And Josh Pasidi. And Nate Castley. Congratulations, Farside Kids. And now the second team, their opponents will be the Dark and the Dank. Tim Best. Jose Luch. Pasha Khosravini, Rob Ender, and Matt Zemlik, otherwise known as Stench. Congratulations, Dark and Dank, and good luck to both of you in this final.
Dark and Dank on your right, and the game is on. And the Far Side Kids have moved up to the 30 with 3 in the back beer can, and now they've set up 1 on each beer can on the left and right and 2 in the middle. And the Dark and Dank have done the exact same thing. So both these teams are playing the same strategy. Far Side's moved up. They've got their movement in time to where now the Far Side team is taking the 40 right teacup and the center horseshoe with 3 men in the back beer cans, and the Dark and Dank team is still in their original position, 1 man in the 30 horseshoe with 4 people in the back in the beer cans, 2 of them in the center and 1 on each flank. So the more aggressive team right now has been Far Side. They don't have to be, they're top ranked. Far Side Kids have moved up to the 50 on the right hand side behind the burrito or the taco. So what you got now is Far Side in a 1-1-3. Their front man on the right flank, on the right tape. Their middle man at the center. So right now, it's Far Side's taking the stretch and got up to the 50-yard line. Dark and then Far Side's moved again. They now have a player behind the teacup on the left-hand side. They still have their 3 men in the very back behind the beer cans. So Far Side has taken the initiative as far as the territory, although it's still pretty tight. And they're really stronger on their right-hand side pushing to the left, where Dark and Dank is stronger on their right-hand side pushing to the left. Both teams have got 1 man behind each beer can in the back. You've got the Far Side team on the right 50 tape line behind the burrito. They've got 1 man on the 40 behind the left teacup. They've got 3 men on the beer cans in the back that are 6 feet high, 1 behind each beer can. Dark and Dank has got 3 men behind each of the beer cans in the back. We've got 1 man in the horseshoe on the 30-yard line and 1 man on the teacup on the right at the 40-yard line. So nobody's moving, they're all dug in. And the Dark and Dank guys are starting to rock back and forth like they want to do something. Nothing's going to happen until something gives. One of these players will get eliminated and people will start moving. Dark and Dank has moved from the 40 teacup on the right. They've got in behind the, what they call the car wash. That's that big blue thing that I've been telling you about that's about 15 feet long and about 6 feet wide that you can crawl under or through if you want to. And that man looks like he is getting checked by the referee behind the car wash. And Dark and Dank's moving up. to the left teacup. They've taken the man out behind the car wash. Dark and Dank has lost 2 of their players. Far side's got 5 players left. They're in a 2-1-2, and they are advancing. They've gone up. Their far side has moved up to the cone on the 30. He's walking up to the teacup on the 40. He's getting a little brave. Dark and Dank is in a triangle. They've got the left beer can, the middle beer can, and they're up to the 40-yard line teacup. With far side advancing and a man getting bunkered. Dark and Dank just lost 1 player, excuse me. Far side's feeling it. They know they're going to win. Looks like they're going to win. They're starting to get into the bunkering mode. They've come around and hit them in the back on the beer cans. They've got them all. They did not hang that flag, but it looks like they've outscored their opponents.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we move up 1 notch to the novice classification. And the first team participating in this final is the TCP Extreme, led by Captain Rick Steinbach and Jay Steinbach and Wayne Berry and Josh Mama. And last but not least, Jeff DeGroot. Congratulations and good luck to the TCP Extreme. And now, wanting to come together as a team, the New York Vengeance.
TCP Extreme puts 3 behind the center beer can, 1 on the right and 1 in the donut, half donut, horseshoe. The New York Vengeance puts 1 on each beer can on the left and right, and 2 in the center beer can and 1 in the horseshoe. So looks like the TCP Extreme is going to stack real hard. Usually when a team stacks in the center like that real heavy, they want to move right up the middle. But it's the New York Vengeance that has taken the flag and scored the first 20 points. They've advanced up. With TCP Extreme now flanking out on the left-hand side. Looks like the TCP has lost 1 of their players. They're down to 4. You got 5 New York Vengeance players up there, 1 way out in the center 50-yard line by himself in possession of the flag. I take that back. They did not lose that player. The player was hidden in the center horseshoe, so both teams still have their 5 players. But the first blood was drawn by the New York Vengeance. They ran up real fast, captured the flag, first flag grab, got that 20 points. So now the TCP Extreme team is going to have to either take that flag back or wipe these fellas out. And the way it's set up right now is New York Vengeance has 1 man on the 50 in the center with 4 men in the back, 2 behind the center beer can, 1 on each beer can on the flanks. Whoa, the man with the flag for New York Vengeance just ran real hard over to the taco. It looked like he'd blown it, but he didn't. He made it. He's fast. They didn't shoot him in time. He's pretty aggressive. Maybe laying low would be the better thing to do, but he's fighting with the flag. The New York Vengeance has moved another man up from the center. They had those 2 at the center beer can, and they moved 1 man up to the horseshoe on the 30-yard line. So what you've got is the New York Vengeance on the 50-yard line, control the right tape with the flag, 1 man in the center horseshoe, and 1 man behind each of the big tall beer cans in the back. Those beer cans are about 7 feet tall, and you've got the TCP Extreme with 4 people in the back. They had 2 in the center, but they just moved their second man over to their left beer can, which is the New York Vengeance back right-hand corner. And again, this is not the pro class. This is not the amateur class. And you would expect these teams to probably play down to the last minute before they start making their moves, unless they start getting some eliminations. But New York Vengeance in control of the over half the field, a 20-point lead. And again, their flag carrier is very, very aggressive, and he has just taken out. This flag man has captured the flag, made a fantastic move, and taken out one of the men in the back corner that had the beer cans that had 2 players behind it. So we may have a little star coming here. They've got him on the Jumbotron. You can see where the TCP Extreme players are trying to get him. TCP Extreme, they have 1 behind each beer can in the back and 1 on the 30 in the horseshoe. They have not moved. They have lost one of their back players. And we've got the New York Vengeance still where the only man moving is the man that moved up and got the flag and then made that daring leap over into the burrito. Everybody cheered when they found out he wasn't hit. He slid past the barricade and picked the flag up with his flag, and he's gotten another one. They've taken out the other man in the back left-hand bunker, so now there are 3 TCP Extreme players left, 5 New York Vengeance players, and we have a little star down here on the 50-yard line. He's doing it all if he can. The man that's in the horseshoe on the 30-yard line is sending signals to me that he's wanting to move. Just by the way he's fidgeting and scooting. If the flag man up on that 50-yard line, Taco, he needs to be careful. They want him. And we do have a little movement on the TCP Extreme. They moved up to the car wash. And one of the New York Vengeance players has gone up to bunker him. And there we have it, a bunkered player. The New York Vengeance player has been eliminated. And so have 2 of the TCP Extreme players. So we're down to 1 TCP Extreme, getting bunkered. Looks like he shot the guy going in for the flag. We're going to have to find out what happened here. Looks like the TCP Extreme had 4 players eliminated, 1 man still in the game. The New York Vengeance players tried to rush the flag. They had the flag, they tried to go hang it, and the question is, did they get the flag hang? It looked like he may have been eliminated before he got to the end of the field, but that's a referee call, so that's what we're going to wait on right now and see what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now we are going to introduce one more notch up to the amateurs. A team from Colorado by the name of Sharpshooter Black. And we have Mark Steves and Marshall Steves. Tom Cutrabis. Ed Ramsey. And Nate Alters. Our congratulations to Sharpshooters Black. Good luck. And your opponents in this final in the amateur division. Far side, Captain Brian Hanses. Captain Brian Hanses. Dwayne Summerhays. David Zorn. John Dresser. And rounding off this team, John Rathburn. And congratulations and good luck to Farside in this final.
And they're off. And the far side splits with one on the wing, one on each beer can wing, with two in the center beer can and one in that center horseshoe. And what we have on the right with the sharpshooters is one on each wing, two in the center, and one of them is lost. So he's in the middle too, right there at the horseshoe. So both of these teams open up the same plan, but one of the far side players has gone down early on the left-hand corner beer can. So sharpshooters have come to an advantage quick, and the sharpshooters has moved up. Sharpshooters has moved up. And he got eliminated. He tried to move up to the cone on the 30 on the left, and the other sharpshooter in the back right beer can has moved up on the cone on the 30 on the right, on their right. So it's one elimination to one elimination right now, with lots of jockeying for position going on. We have two far side players now at the center horseshoe, and the far side have split over to both beer cans, and another far side player went down. That's one thing you want to remember. Never replace a dead man. There might be somebody there killing him. But anyway, the far side team has lost one of their players at the same bunker. Well, they've lost two players at the same bunker. So now far side's got three players, and sharpshooters have got four. Sharpshooters have moved up on the right-hand side. They're at the 40-yard teacup and at the car wash at the 50-yard line. There are four sharpshooters left. Three far side players left. No flag grab. We have two far side players left. Two. They just shot one out at the horseshoe in the center. There were two, and we just lost another sharpshooter. So these guys are just swapping. There are three sharpshooters out there now, and two far side. The sharpshooters are in a triangle. They've got one man at the right teacup on the 40, and they've got one each at each beer can in the corners of the back of the field, while far side has got one man at the horseshoe at the 30, and one man in the far right-hand corner at the beer cans. And the sharpshooters have just gone into some kind of unison move there. The left beer can moved up to the center horseshoe, and the right teacup moved up to the center 50-yard line and grabbed the flag and moved up to the 40. He got the first flag grab. Oh, they're back to back on each other. Okay. Oh man, what a play. The far side player moved up to the taco on the 50, ran right by the sharpshooter on the 40 far side line. He did not see him. He ran right by him. He thought he was eliminated. The referee called him in. He didn't stop to look.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, what many consider to be the ultimate in paintball competition, the professional ranks. And we will introduce to you, first of all, the Jacksonville Jacks Warriors. Paul P.G.P. Bollenbach. Frank Connell. Kevin Ockman. William Rivera. And Chris Huffy. Huffnagel. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, their worthy opponents, and certainly well known, ground 0-2. First through, Albert Smith. And now Mr. U, Peter Usteig. And the king, Alex Lundquist. And it's only fitting that he should come next, the Prince, Max Lundquist. And Shark Attack, Chris Cole. And Nikki Newshul. We're looking forward to a dandy.
Both teams out of the socket with Jacksonville going with 2 in the back beer can. They formed a little triangle, a 1-2-2, with the ground zero moving up into a 1-1-1. They've got 1 man already on the 50-yard line. Ground zero has already advanced to the 50-yard line. Jacksonville Warriors have already advanced up to the beer can with the 3 prongs. Both teams been very aggressive. The ground zero player has crossed the 50-yard line. He's in that big, tall, standing A. Ground zero has lost one of their players. They are in the flag grab area in the corner of that big, standing triple A. With the Jacksonville Warriors, all 5 have set up in it. They formed a triangle that forms that they have dominated the right-hand corner of their field. And they have lost one of their players. Jacksonville Warriors have got 1 man at the 30 in the beer can with the 2 flanks. And then they've got 1 man at each beer can in the left corner, right corner, and 1 in the beer can in the back on the center. Ground zero being the most aggressive team today as far as this game goes. They've already reached the 45-yard mark in the big triple capital A's. The back ground zero man in the center beer can tried to advance and change his mind. He ran back. And the man in the 50-yard line for ground zero has been taken out. And now it looks like Jacksonville Warriors have got the advantage on this game. Ground zero has moved up to the 40-yard line, turned over beer can I told you about earlier. That's on his right. And he has crossed into the big A that's laying flat at the 50-yard line. So ground zero has crossed the 50-yard line again with a second man. They're starting to advance. Jacksonville Warriors advanced, and we've got a bunker move coming up here on the A, and he has taken him out. Jacksonville Warrior looks like he got shot, and the Jacksonville Warrior got eliminated. So the ground zero man at the A, they tried to bunker him when he charged. He eliminated the Jacksonville Warrior. They're concentrating on him. They've got a triangle. Jacksonville Warriors in a triangle in the back right-hand corner of their side of the playing field. They have not been too aggressive on their advances except for the bunker move, which cost them a player. So they're all getting ready. It's 3-on-3, and they are slugging it out. If you looked at the power move, or where who has the power base, you'd say if ground zero tried to move on Jacksonville Warriors would have the crossfire on them. But the ground zero team has got control of the biggest portion of the field. And what you have is the Jacksonville Warrior in the center on the 30 is kind of moving to his left, moving to his right, throwing paintball at 2 of the ground zero players. He's very busy, but they're doing it in unison. The man in the back for the Jacksonville Warriors has just been eliminated in the back beer can. We just lost one of the ground zero men. You have 2. The game is over. I said it'd go 3 minutes. It went 5, and it went 2. Down to 2 Jacksonville Warriors left and 1 ground zero player. And they are off. And the far side kids play the same way. They go 3 in the middle, and they split up to the beer cans, and they send 1 man up to the horseshoe. You have Dark and Dank has moved up to the 40 real quick, with 2 men on the left beer can, 1 in the middle beer can, 1 in the right beer can. Dark and Dank's very aggressive this game, but they have to be. Now they moved up to the cone on the 30, the teacup on the 40. They've taken out one of the far side kids. They've taken out one of the Dark and Danks. So it's 4-4. No one's got the flag. Far side kids. We've got 1 at each beer can and 1 at the horseshoe on the 30. And again, now this is the stalemate thing that the rookies and the novice teams get into. But then you have 1 aggressive player there. Dark and Dank is going for that flag and got that grab. They need to outscore far side by 38 points. And they've got 20 of them. All they need is 19 more points. Dark and Dank thinks that they've got this game won, but they're going to have to pick up another 19 points if they want to advance. So it could be that the far side kids just hold it right here, and they could still win this tournament in 2 games. And again, you've got a rookie class game out here. They've made their move, and now they're just holding on for their dear life. But now the rookie class players on the far side team have moved up to the teacup on the 40-yard line, left-hand side, with Dark and Dank at the 50-yard line trying to hold him off. Dark and Dank moving up to the 30-yard cone on the left-hand side, coming up to help his buddy. You know, when you move up to that 50-yard line, you can get in trouble because it's the lowest barricade on the field, one of the smallest barricades on the field, and the one you have to be the most agile in, or you're going to get shot. And this kid down here at 50, see, he's going to get bunkered. There he goes. There he goes. They bunkered him. The far side kid bunkered the Dark and Dank player at the 50-yard line. Both of them got eliminated. Looks like the far side player got the elimination. Dark and Dank player on the cone at the 30-yard line eliminated the far side player. He did not take those points back. Those points are still, well, nobody has the flag, but the first flag grab was by Dark and Dank, so they still have the advantage on points. Far side kids have dug in on the back row. Somebody's going to have to go get them. They're going to have to do some flanking on the Dark and Dank side if they're going to win this game. Dark and Dank has got one man on the 50, one man on the 40 teacup, one man in the back beer can center. Far side's got 3 men, one behind each beer can on the back row. And this game is going to run out of time, and this thing's going to go down to points. Somebody's going to have to, there it goes, there it goes. So we'll have to check that score. Did Dark and Dank score enough points to stay in this tournament? I don't know. And they'll send the scores up to us here in a few minutes. We do have another game coming up. TCP Extreme. Both teams have made the same move. Both teams sent one man up to the horseshoe, but the New York Vengeance team lost that player, and so now it's 5 players with TCP Extreme and 4 players with New York Vengeance.
This is what we've got so far. I don't know if you want those scores or not.
Yes, I do. Can I keep them? Is that your only copy?
But I'll make you a copy.
Okay, right. Right now, you've got the TCP Extreme team has got the advantage of this game. They've got 5 players. The New York Vengeance lost their front man that ran up to the front horseshoe on the 30-yard line and got eliminated, but they immediately replaced him with their extra man that they had in the beer can in the center. TCP just lost their man on the beer can on their lower left-hand side. So TCP Extreme, they have a player on the right hand who's wanting to move up to the cone. He's made it. He's up at the 40-yard line cone, and they send their other man to the left beer can. Remember what I said earlier, never replace a dead man unless you know for sure you're going to be safe. And we're getting some aggressive move here by the TCP Extreme player. They have their back beer can man moved up to the 30-yard cone, and now he's moved up to the 50-yard taco. So TCP Extreme has the 50-yard line. They have eliminated the second New York Vengeance player who was in the back right-hand corner at the back rear beer can. So now there are 4 TCP Extreme, 1 at the 50-yard taco, 1 at the 40-yard line teacup, and 2 in the back, 1 at the beer can on the right-hand side and 1 at the beer can on the left-hand side, versus 3 of the New York Vengeance players, 1 at the 30-yard line. You got movement by the TCP Vengeance team. They're up to the 40-yard line of the New York Vengeance, and they are at the car wash. So they are putting the move on these players. New York Vengeance down to 2 players. They've lost their back left-hand corner. So New York Vengeance has 1 man in the center beer can, 1 man in the center horseshoe. with the TCP players coming to get revenge, and they have gotten that 4th man and they've gotten that 5th man. This game is over. All they have to do is hang the flag. All the New York Vengeance players have been eliminated, and it's time to grab the flag and go hang it. And this game in this division will go to that 3rd game. Sharpshooters on the right, far side on the left. Far side puts 2 men up in the horseshoe, 1 in each beer can in the back. Sharpshooters, 1 man in the horseshoe, 1 man on each wing in the beer can in the back, and 2 men in the beer can in the center, with 1 moving up to the horseshoe. They're running the same play now. They got the same amount of time left in the game. Sharpshooters have lost 1 player. They've lost their back left man in the beer can, and the far side has moved up to the 50-yard line. Up to the 50-yard line. And Sharpshooters have lost the 2nd man. So far side, they're putting a push on here. They know they have to win it, so they have to be aggressive. Sharpshooters have got 3 men. They've got 1 on the back beer can left, 1 on the back beer can right. They have 1 in the horseshoe. Far side's got 1 on the 50-yard taco, 1 on the 40-yard teacup on the left, and 1 on each beer can in the back, left, right, center. The far side team that's in the lead right now was trounced pretty soundly in their last round, so they have to win this one pretty big. And they know it, and they've already played that way. And the pros are getting on the field, getting ready for the next game. While far side amateur moves to the 50, gets the flag, moves to the 30 cone to cover him. Now they're set up, and the far side has got 1 man on the 50 taco, 1 man at the 50 flag area, 1 man on the 30 cone behind them. They move 1 man up to the car wash, and a daring run. They're going to send the referee over to check him. And they are on the advance. They're getting very, very aggressive. Farside's lost a player that they didn't have to lose. He should not have made that move. Got 3 Farside men. They've crossed the 40 on the sharpshooter side. One of the Farside players exposing his right shoulder to the left beer can on the sharpshooter side. The Farside's keeping 1 man in the back, and they're pressing with 3 men. They're about to run out of time. They've lost the man with the flag. They've lost the man with the flag, and they really didn't have to lose him. He could have stayed where he was. They need to pull their man up in the back, but they do have 1 at the burrito at the 50, 1 on the sharpshooter 40 teacup on the right, and they are playing 2 of the sharpshooters, 1 at the left beer can rear and 1 at the right beer can rear. Far side, they moved up to the cone. On the 30-yard line, the sharpshooters very, very aggressive. They know they have to win this game big. They have taken that sharpshooter player out on the right. Far side players lost 1, so now it's 2 players left far side, 1 timid in the rear right now, 1 aggressive on the 50-yard line versus 1 sharpshooter in the right-hand corner. That far side player in the left-hand corner has got to get in this game. He's moving up to the 30. They need to talk. They need to talk, and they need to get ready to knock that man out so they can win this game. They need those points. So you got 1 far side player at the 50-yard line at the taco, 1 moving up to the car wash, who's got the flag, moved up to the cone, and is attacking the man in the left-hand corner. The man in the right 50 needs to move up and help, but he is not moving. He's not moving, and they've got him. So the man that was in the rear, that was timid, finally moves up, takes the flag, and advances on the last surviving sharpshooter player in the right-hand corner, and they bring this to a tie. And they're out of it. They're coming. And they go straight up the middle this time with 1 flanker to the left beer can and 1 flanker to the 30-yard right beer can turned over. The Ground Zero team was a little faster. They went ahead and went all the way up to the AAA standing up in the middle, and the center 30-yard beer can with one player at each beer can in the rear. So Ground Zero, again, the most aggressive team of these two as far as territory and speed goes. We have lost one of the Jacksonville Warriors, and the Jacksonville Warriors lost their back left, and they just sent two men, one back over into the back left-hand corner, and one up in the 30-yard line beer can with the three buckers on the side. So Ground Zero is ahead right now. They've got one elimination. They have 5 players on the field, 4 players for Jacksonville Warriors. So here we are. It's a professional standoff with another Jacksonville Warrior going down. We have 3 Jacksonville Warriors left with 5 Ground Zero players on the field. So what do you have now? The Jacksonville Warriors are set up in a little triangle back in the back left-hand corner. They control 1/3 or 1/2 of their side of the playing field, but 1/3 of the total playing field, with the Ground Zero players controlling all 3 beer cans in the back, getting ready to make a move. You can see the way they're fidgeting, and they've gotten up from off their bellies to their knees, and they're starting to move up down the center. They're going to go right down the center. Ground Zero has 2 men at the 30-yard beer can, with 1 man moving up to the 40-yard beer can that is laying on its side, getting ready to move over to the A that lays down on the left. Ground Zero has 5 players. Jacksonville Warriors has 3. They're set up right now they have 1 man in their back right-hand corner, 2 men in their center 30-yard beer can, and 1 man at the 40-yard laying down beer can, kind of in a 45-degree angle from the back right-hand corner, with 1 man at the 50-yard line at the AAA. Looks like we have eliminated another Jacksonville Warrior. There are 2 Warriors left in this game. 5 Ground Zeros. Ground Zero's feeling it. There is 1 Jacksonville Warrior left in this game. No, 2. 1 at the back left beer can, 1 at the back middle beer can, with the Ground Zero players flanking to the left into the A, the laying down A on the left-hand side. They've got the flag grab. Ground Zero's got the flag grab. They've got control of the field. 5 players left. 1 Jacksonville Warrior going down. The last Jacksonville Warrior going down. Ground Zero defeated Jacksonville Warriors. No eliminations. 5 players left. Flag hang 100 to zip. That's big. Far side kids are on the left, Dark and Dank on the right. And this one is for the money in the rookie class division, and you've got a little more aggressive play coming out of here. You got Dark and Dank has moved to the 40-yard, teacup on the left, and the horseshoe. And the man on the horseshoe has moved to the teacup on the right. So Dark and Dank is taking the 40-yard line on both sides of the teacups, left and right, with far side kids on the teacup on the left on their side. Dark and Dank wants that flag, and they have taken it. Their man at the teacup on the 40-yard line on the right has moved up to the 50, and he has taken that flag and scored those points. Those are the points that Dark and Dank needed to catch up. So now the rest of the game is up to, the rest of the tournament is up to what happens here in the next minute or 2. But it's a stalemate again. Again, that's what happens to these rookies. They make their one play, and they don't figure out how they're going to get out of this mess. So we got the far side guys are on the left teacup and right teacup. That man on the 50-yard line is flanked, and he's going to get bunkered. We had 2 players make a move toward the taco, one on the Dark and Dank side and one on the far side. Both of them were eliminated. So we still have the point advantage is on Dark and Dank, although Dark and Dank is kind of hanging out there a little bit. Both teams are playing from the backside. The beer cans are taking a beating. They've got 1 man behind each beer can on both ends of the field. Far side kids have got 1 player at the horseshoe at about the 30-yard line, and the Dark and Dank team's got one at the 50-yard line. So they've scored 24 points, and they have 3 players out there on the field. So that's 6 more points. That's 30 points. So that would give them 72 right now for these 3 games versus Farside's 68. Right now, Farside's still winning. Farside's going for a bunker on the 50, and they just took him out. The man that was on the 40 teacup on the left-hand side tried to bunker the Dark and Dank player on the 50 with the flag, and the player on the 50 took the Farside player out. So now you have 3 Farsides moving. The Farside's moving up. They know they have to have these eliminations. They've gone up and they're coming over the top of the bunker again. And they have taken that flag man out. So Farside bunkered the Dark and Dank. And now what we have is 1 Dark and Dank versus 2 Farsides. Time running out. The Farside player can get that flag and take out the Dark and Dank. They're going to win this tournament. It's going to be tight. Here's Farside going up on the teacup on the 40 next to the Dark and Dank on the 30. They're 10 feet apart. Dark and Dank player's been eliminated. It looks like Farside's going in for the hang. Farside wins game 3. Farside is the winner of the rookie class. And they're off. The New York Vengeance puts 1 on each beer can on the left and right, and 2 in the center beer can, and 1 in the horseshoe. This is not the pro class. This is not the amateur class. And you would expect these teams to probably play down to the last minute before they start making their moves, unless they start getting some eliminations. TCP Extreme, they have a player on the right hand who's wanting to move up to the cone. He's made it. He's up at the 40-yard line cone, and they send their other man to the left beer can. And we're getting some aggressive move here by the TCP Extreme. We have lost the New York Vengeance player that was on the horseshoe, and they moved up another one into the same horseshoe. Never replace a dead man, but he did. Their back beer can man moved up to the 30-yard cone, and now he's moved up to the 50-yard taco. So now we've got 3 New York Vengeance players in the back on each beer can, 1 at the horseshoe, and we have 5 players left on TCP Extreme, 3 of them in the back, 1 at each beer can, 1 at the horseshoe at the 30, and 1 at the cone on the 30 left. And the spectators are beginning to move over from the pro class side over to the amateur and novice finals. So TCP Extreme has not lost a player this game. They are ahead in points. New York Vengeance is going to have to get a flag grab. If they get a flag grab, they'll be ahead in points, and then TC Extreme will have to be moving and making decisions. But right now, TCP Extreme is in control of their own destiny. They can keep the... Oh, TCP's lost 1. They lost their back left-hand corner man. Now this game is tied again, but a tie means the TCP's going to win the tournament. So New York Vengeance is going to have to do something. The Vengeance is set up with 1 man at each beer can in the back and 1 man in the 30-yard horseshoe, with TCP Extreme with 2 men at the back beer cans, 1 in the middle and 1 to their right. They have 1 man at their 40-yard teacup and 1 man at their 30-yard cone on the left. That 40-yard teacup man is on the right teacup side. And those points are going to have to be 2 or 3 eliminations toward the end of the game, or get that flag. And all the TCP Extreme has to do, and they're moving up to the 50-yard taco. The left-hand cone on the 30 is moved up to the 50. The Vengeance is getting aggressive, and now what they've done now is they've set up a crossfire on that flag. One of the New York Vengeance moving up. TCP Extreme has pulled that flag. They pulled the flag and they're got a crossfire on the man on the 40. New York Vengeance has a man on a 40-yard teacup, and he is in a crossfire between the two TCP Extreme men at the 50-yard line burrito and the 50-yard line flag station. So the TCP Extreme has the points. They've got that first flag grab, and they have eliminated a New York Vengeance player who walks off dejected. You know, when you show dejection, sometimes you influence your teammates. And there he did. He just walked in front of a man who just got eliminated, and he hung his head. So we got two surviving New York Vengeance players with TCP Extreme putting the pressure on. They've got the 50, they've got the 30, they've just taken out the middle beer can. There's one New York Vengeance player left who is attacking and is out. And we have a winner in the Novice Class Division. It's TCP Extreme. They have 4 players left. They have captured the flag, and they have won this division of the 2002 Skyball event. One game to go. Sharpshooters on the right, far side on the left. Far side puts 2 men up in the horseshoe, 1 in each beer can in the back. Sharpshooters, 1 man in the horseshoe, 1 man on each wing in the beer can in the back, and 2 men in the beer can in the center, with 1 moving up to the horseshoe. These teams have played the exact same play again. They are tied. They're running the same play now. They got the same amount of time left in the game. And now sharpshooters have gone up to the teacup on the 40 and the teacup on both teacups, left and right. I'm tired. We've got sharpshooters have taken over the possession of the flag area, and they have eliminated one of the far side, 2 of the far side players. So it looks like the sharpshooters now have 5 players versus 3. They've taken the lead in score. What are they going to do? Are they going? They've got to, you know, if they wanted to, they can move their left hand rear at the beer can up to about the 50. There he goes. He goes up to the cone on the 30. If he can just do it one more time and get up on that 50, they can turn this game. This game will be over soon if he makes that move. We got the sharpshooters from the rear moving up to the cone on the 30 on the right. The sharpshooter on the cone on the 30 on the left has been eliminated. So they're down to 4-3, no flag grab. So far side can get back in this game. They can get back in this game with 1 more elimination. But the sharpshooters are moving up. Sharpshooters are in the car wash. They're in the teacup. They're in the far side teacup on the right. They've eliminated 1 far side player. There's 2 far side players left. Sharpshooters have lost. They got the first flag grab, but they have lost their flagman who moved up to the teacup on the 40 of the far side team on the right. But they have scored the points. This was the tie, but once they got that flag capture, that changed the game a lot. Now the sharpshooters have got to either hold for the rest of this game, or they're going to have to eliminate the 2 far side players. But the far side player is going to have to hang it to win. And we got the refs in there making a call. He's checking the far side player out in the back beer can. They're in a straight line, 1 in the back beer can far side and 1 in the horseshoe. We've got 3 sharpshooters left. They got 1 sharpshooter in the very back right-hand corner, needs to move up and do something, get back in this game. He's throwing paint, but he's not really a factor because he's just out of balance. But he is probably the right now, if he could see what he was doing, he would be the deciding factor if he could get his gun back into play. it's a fight. The far side kids they're not the kids, but the far side team is putting up a big fight, but it's not going to do them any good unless they get, oh, far side's lost another player. It was a bad move. That's it. The far side players are eliminated. Sharpshooters have 3 men left. They hang the flag and they've got the championship on the amateur side.
Well, folks, that wraps up things for this year. Most of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. We appreciate you coming and helping us here. And we look forward to next year. This year, I think it's been the best Skyball yet. And stay tuned for next year, and we have even more exciting things planned for you. Focus on the player. Thanks for coming, folks.
Skyball 5 is over. Every player and spectator will have special memories, and some will carry home prizes and honors. Many will see themselves in this video. Look now for yourself or for friends and fellow players who took part in the world record Skyball 5.
Teams who are getting ready for upcoming games, please make sure that you're ready to go. We try to make up a little bit of time on these playoffs. Thank you very much. Flag red. First of the day.
Well, I was born too late to play against the frogs. I don't know Bob Long, never met Rennick Miller, standing with a Mac. I'm paintball's fastest gun. Go out, get funky, get painted, have fun. Don't got $1 million, don't drive a Cadillac. Give me half a chance, cause I'm not dead yet.